Hi guys, it's Elissa at Moat Cottage, and today I'm going to show you how I grow my garlic. The video I made on fermenting garlic and honey created some really good conversation, which I absolutely loved. I'm really glad that so many of you have taken action and have some brewing right now. In the conversation there was some discussion on the size of my homegrown garlic, and there was some requests on me making a video on how to grow my garlic. So here we go. There are about 1,000 cultivars of garlic around the world, varying in size, flavour and suitabilities to different climates. So you should be able to find one that suits your climate no matter where you are in the world. My main advice for choosing garlic is, apart from choosing one that suits your climate, whether you're in high humidity or a cold climate, is to make sure that you don't choose garlic that has been sprayed with a anti-sprouting chemical, because obviously that's going to hinder you growing your garlic. And of course, in my opinion, who wants chemicals all over their food? So I grow two varieties here, the purple variety and also this white variety that was used in my video. Now originally I received this cultivar of garlic from a friend who was growing them in her garden, and the bulbs were a medium size with quite a good flavour. I'm not actually sure what the cultivars are that I'm growing, so I can't tell you that unfortunately, but I do know that they're not Russian garlic, which is actually a leek. Now I plant out in May here, which is the month before winter starts. We get 3 months for each season. I choose a sunny location in my garden and somewhere where I haven't had alliums growing the year before, so no chives or onions, leeks or obviously garlic, so a different spot. Somewhere with good drainage that doesn't get overwatered, because they don't like sitting in too much water, so it needs to have good drainage. And also somewhere that has good airflow. Depending on your soil, you can add in some organic rich compost. I'm just loosening up the soil. You break up the bulbs when you're planting them. I generally plant the bulb twice as deep as what it is. So the bigger the bulb, the deeper it goes into the ground. You want the root end down, which is that flat end, and you want the pointy end, which is where the green sprout will come out, to be pointing upwards. So I would just plant it in like that and cover it in. One down. I plant about 10 centimetres apart. The experts say 15, but they probably have a lot more space than I do. And it seems to be working for me, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Simple as that. Just cover them up, and well, seeing as though we're not going to have any rain for a week, I'll just give them a light water. Not too much, just enough to get them settled. Garlic is a perennial, although it's usually grown as an annual, and you harvest it 7 months later. And like all veggies, you just make sure you keep it weeded so that it's not competing for space and nutrients. Garlic flowers have a single stem around 5 foot tall, with a ball of tiny flowers on top that attracts bees and hoverflies and other cool pollinating insects to the garden, which means more veggies. I plant more clumps of garlic in other parts of the vegetable garden too. I do add compost and alpaca poo to my vegetable garden in general, but I don't actually feed the garlic anything in particular because they just don't need it. I usually harvest 7 months after planting, when the leaves turn yellow, unless I'm leaving them in the ground for the extra year so they can get even bigger. When I'm going to harvest the garlic, I don't water a few days before, so the soil can dry out a little bit, and that makes it easier to dig up the bulbs. So I carefully dig up my garlic cloves with this fork, I shake the dirt back into the vegetable garden, and then I store the garlic cloves intact on my drying rack, which I made, and it hangs in my kitchen at room temperature. That way they can cure for a couple of weeks and then they're ready for you to store. However, I just leave them on the rack because I live in a dry climate and they stay there for up to a year and a half, and I haven't had a problem. They are fine. And also I save my best ones intact so that I can sow them out into the garden the next year when it's time to plant out. And that's how I get the bigger bulbs, because they're acclimatized to my climate. They are used to my soil. Let me know in the comments below if you grow garlic, or if you're going to give garlic growing a go. You can even grow garlic in pots. So thank you everyone who left comments, and to Mayra Rodriguez and Alaska Prepper for asking me to make this video. Alaska Prepper has a thought-provoking channel on prepping that I follow, and I know some of you do too. His goal is to encourage people to start prepping. And he also discusses interesting news topics from around the world and gets you to think outside the square, which I'm all for, because I didn't even know there was a square. He has a great community over there, and like I said, I know that some of you are from there too, so it's great to have you here as well. I'll leave Alaska Prepper's details below so you can check him out if you haven't checked him out yet. And if you're not subscribed to Moat Cottage, subscribe and hit the bell so you can be the first to know when we bring a video out. It's usually every second Thursday, more if my health permits. You can also check us out on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.